Okay, so, oh, by the way, before I even get started, I just want to apologize for any traffic sounds while I'm recording this. I am driving. I'm on my way to the gym. I decided to go get a good workout in before I go to this game. And hopefully I'm not yelling too loud into my speaker. Hopefully you guys can hear me loud and clear without me actually yelling. So tonight the Beavercreek girls are taking on Springboro. The Beavercreek girls are coming off of a loss against Milford, a 4-1 loss this past Saturday. And that, before I talk about the Springboro game, I want to talk about that. That right there was a crazy match. I mean, I knew that going into that match, it was going to be a tough match. Milford is a very tough team. In terms of play style, they are very similar to Mount Notre Dame. That relentless attacking style of soccer where they cross that half field line and just kind of they hold you on your own side of the field, and for the most part that's exactly what they were doing. You saw the same thing, which was crazy. You saw the same thing in the JV match right before the varsity match. The JV girls were able to tie that game though. So yeah, man, I wasn't too disappointed with this loss. I'm not your coach or anything, but as a fan, and as a supporter, I wasn't disappointed in this loss. I felt like this was a learning experience type of game. I know that I looked in the crowd and I could see some disappointed faces. That Milford did kind of take the crowd out of the game, and I hate when that happens, but it is what it is, But as for me, I saw a lot of things that you girls did really well. I thought that even in a loss like that, you girls still had a lot of positive takeaways, especially defensively. You girls were stepping in, breaking up passes, negating shots before they even became an option. Those 4 goals, 2 of those goals were just, there wasn't a whole lot that could have been done about them. One of them was just a really good placed shot, and the other one was so quick that there's really not much that could have been done about that. Niley is a phenomenal goalkeeper, but even the best of goalkeepers couldn't have stopped that one shot that just off that, I think it was off of either a corner kick or off of a free kick. I couldn't remember, but I thought that you girls did really well in this match. It's just the fact that it was very difficult for you girls to get any offense generated. They were just running all over the place and breaking up your passes before you even got the chance to get the ball through. So I mean, I just think that this is one of those games where you can take a lot of positives from it and move forward from that. There's a lot that this team has to figure out. This is a team that there's a lot of players who are trying to settle into new roles. You have a lot of young players, a lot of new players on this varsity team who are trying to settle into really big roles, and you have some of the older players who are trying to settle into newer roles. It's just that defensively, especially in the first half, I thought that you girls did really well. I noticed that Milford came out in a formation that they're not usually in, and they had their players playing positions that they're not usually in. For example, their 2 forwards, number 10 is Peyton Cook, and number 15 is Anna Manning. I noticed at the opening whistle they had Peyton playing out on the wing. That's usually not her position. Usually those 2 girls come out in a twin set. So that's one big thing that I noticed, like, right off the bat. And I was really interested to see how that was going to play out. But for the most part, your defenders were ready for it. I heard them back there communicating. They were talking, and you girls were stepping out and breaking up passes, negating shots, doing a really good job of keeping those wing players out on the perimeter, not getting confused by that cross between number 15, Anna Manning, and I can't remember her name, but number 21, who's their opposite wing player. While they were attacking, they were constantly switching positions, literally. So and they were doing it very often. Another thing I noticed in this match, though, is they seem to be targeting a specific side of the field. I noticed that every time they gained possession of the ball, they were sending the ball to that specific side of the field. Even though they had numbers on one side, on the other side, they was constantly switch the field to the other side to try to get, I think that they maybe thought that they had mismatches over there, but I'm not sure. Who knows? But still, I thought that you girls played that very well. It's just, there's only so much that your defense can do. There's only, eventually all that pressure, starts to get to them. You start to wear defenses out with that. So, I thought that the real battle was in the midfield. I thought the midfielders were struggling a bit. So, moving forward, it's just one of those things that you have to kind of shake off and move on. It's something that I think you girls will figure out as the season progresses. I mean, this is still very early in the season. What is this? What was that? The only third game, maybe? I don't know. But it's something that it's a problem that I think is going to work itself out. You girls just have to figure out how to get your offense going against teams like that, especially knowing that you girls play M&D this coming weekend. That match right there is going to feel a lot like this Milford game, because those two teams are just so similar in their style. But enough about that. I want to talk about Springboro. Springboro this season, it's kind of odd. I don't think that, this is just an honest opinion, not fact, but I don't think that Springboro is as strong offensively as they usually are. This season, I think they are a little bit more stronger defensively than they usually are. So, I think that in this match today, if you girls can get your offense going very early and set the tone, set the pace early on, you girls are going to have a really good game. I like Ella Walling in the center of the field. It's hard to say whether or not she's more productive as a wing player. It's hard to say because she was very, very productive as a wing player, So it's hard to say, but I do know for a fact that if you get that girl a ton of touches, it's always going to prove to be a positive for you girls. She needs to get a lot of touches. The more touches she gets, the better. I know that she's coming off of a whole year absence because of that torn ACL. Now, what a lot of people don't realize about that torn ACL thing is when a player comes back, they're not usually, immediately their former selves. You know what I'm saying? It takes time to get it takes time to get the rust off, and for two, it takes time to win the mental battle inside of your own head because, honestly, I can tell you this from experience because I've done it in both knees. Tearing an ACL is a very traumatizing experience for an athlete. It's traumatizing. In the back of your mind, you don't want it to happen again because you know for sure that it can, and it's more likely now to happen. So, I don't know, man. It's one of those things that you just, I don't think that it's going to hinder her too much. I know that eventually she's going to get back to her former self. She's going to be firing on all cylinders again. Because to be honest, she is this team's engine, and she's the one key piece that this team was missing last season, if you ask me. So, just get her a lot of touches and let her get a real good feel of of the game again, and eventually she'll start to figure this thing out. I promise she will. So, this Springboro match though, it's hard to say. Exactly how this is going to go because I've only seen them play one time this season, and that was against Waynesville, I think it was, in a scrimmage. So, and I've only seen them play teams that, I don't know, man. It's hard to say, man. I've only seen them as far as their stats and highlights go. I've only seen them against teams that I know for a fact that Beavercreek would win against. They've only played teams that they should have won against. You know what I mean? So it just, I don't know. It's hard to say how this is going to go. I think the only place where Beavercreek might have a lot of trouble with is their defenders. They do have a very solid back line, but I really think that you girls are more solid in the midfield, and I do think that your defenders are going to stay really strong against them. I don't think that they can break through your defensive line. I said defensive line like this is football, but your back line. I don't know, man. We'll just have to see what happens. You know, there's no guarantees in this game or anything, but I'm just giving my honest opinion. You know, based off what I've seen so far, I just think that Beavercreek is the stronger team this season. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens. I really hope you girls come out and just, dominate this game, honestly. I hope that you come out from the opening whistle and just kind of take over. You girls have a lot of weapons this season, a lot of them. So, it's just a matter of figuring out how to utilize them, I guess. So, I guess I'll see you guys later on at this game, Somebody asked me for my prediction as far as the score. I'm going to say 2-1. 2-1 Beavercreek. Don't make me eat those words. I'll see y'all later.